Rick Harrison of Pawn Stars, it is great to talk with you. Great to meet you. Huge fan of the show. I've watched it for many, many, many years, as well as people around the country. And we're going to get to that new show here in a second. But we have some fun questions for you today. I want to know right off the top, when did you know that Pawn Stars was such a hit? The cult following that exists with this show, when did it dawn on you, hey, we have something here?
So it was right after, we premiered in July of '09, and I mean, traffic was picking up a little bit. I mean, and I took like a week off, right after Christmas, and took a little vacation with the family, and I came back to the pawn shop on, I think it was January 2nd, and the fire department was down there and everything, and we had a line going down the street. They said there was too many people in the shop, and I'm going like, I mean, literally, it was like something switch turned, and there was like lines down the street, and like people were asking for my autograph and stuff, and that's when I knew, it was definitely a hit.
Is there a story or maybe a person or an item, something that somebody brought into your show just over the years, a memory that sticks out, that's unusual, that you find most interesting?
Well, here's a great story for Halloween. So literally, this is probably like 7 or 8 years ago. Some guy walks in the pawn shop and he's got 7 human skulls in a duffel bag.
Okay.
So it turns out there was a dental school in like the Midwest, and they were auctioning off a bunch of old stuff in a warehouse. And one of the boxes was like the skulls they used to use for teaching and stuff like that. And I looked at the guy and go like, literally, when at the end of the show where I say, let's go do some paperwork, that's where we fill that paperwork and send it to the police department and stuff like that. If I understand your skulls are legit, but if I did buy them off you, the blank storm that would happen afterwards would not be worth any money whatsoever. I'd make up these things. That was one of the craziest things that ever happened in the shop when someone brought something in.
You're going around the country. Pawn Stars Do America. Tell me about that experience.
It was actually really, really fun. I mean, because a lot of cities I really, really enjoy going to, and like I basically have a network paying for my vacation. You know what I mean? Hanging out down in Florida, I'm like, I'm not going home for the weekend. I'm going to hang out here and have a good time. I hang out at the beach. So I got to do that all summer long with a bunch of different cities. So it's been really fun. Lots of neat stuff that would never have came to Vegas I got to see. And, there is a lot of really specific things per city you go to. I mean, like I went treasure hunting in Florida, tons of car stuff up in Michigan. I actually ended up buying a brown vest that was most likely used at Lexington and Concord in the Revolution. I mean, there was just so much stuff I've done this season. I've just had a ball.
What advice do you give to people? They say, hey, I've got something I want to bring to the Pawn Stars, something that you find interesting. I thought of that question this morning. I'm walking out of the house, and I have a signed Johnny Cash poster. It's actually an album cover that he signed for me many years ago. And I thought, hey, that's interesting. I wonder what Rick Harrison would think about that.
Well, I mean, the Johnny Cash thing is definitely interesting. I mean, because he's an American icon, and it's one of those guys that will always be worth money. It just, I mean, I like the odd, the different. I mean, it's something with a great story behind it. I've said this to years for like the salespeople in my shop. I mean, they don't buy the item, they buy the story. And if you got the Johnny Cash autograph with a great story behind it, to some people it's priceless.
How many experts do you know? I love when I watch a show and you're always like, hey, I'm going to talk to my buddy at this. I'm going to talk to my buddy about this.
I mean, there's a ton of people. I do business with most of these people. Some people are kind of academic, like the beard of knowledge. No, but I do business with all these people. So I mean, it's like not necessarily. They sort of specialize in that field, and I do business with them. A lot of them I've done business with for over 20 years. So it's just how I do my business.
Okay, bonus question. Do you ever feel bad? I love when you always say, this is as high as I can go, or as low as I'm going to go. That poker face is great. Do you ever feel bad?
Oh, I know there's an old joke in the pawnbroker, in the pawn business, where you're like, a pawnbroker with a heart is a pawnbroker out of business. No, I mean, it's always been the way I've done business. I've always tried to treat people fairly, and I think it's, and that's why my business has been so successful. I mean, the thing is, if you treat people right, through a few degrees of separation, you'll do really well. If you treat people bad, everybody know you're bad. So I've always, sort of been my my whole motto my whole life.
Rick Harrison, thanks so much for your time. The show is Pawn Stars Do America. Actually going to be in Vegas in a couple of weeks. I may stop in to your store and just say what's up to the
come
team.
in.
I am not
maybe we'll make a deal
selling the Johnny Cash signed picture. I also have a Hank Aaron baseball, though, by the way. Rick, thanks again for your time.
We'll talk about it. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.